Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Gratitude Level Up. First off, let me start by saying thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, for clicking on this video, for signing up to be a part of Gratitude Level Up, for joining me and committing to the next 6 weeks to be a part of what we've got going here at Grateful & Company. Let me preface, okay? This is real life. And like real life, sometimes there are things going on around us, okay? I am building this series for you guys in my home, okay? And so in my home, I have two of what I refer to as my fur babies. I have two doggos. One is fairly large and one is very small. The little one wears clothes sometimes, and sometimes those clothes have like bells because it's like the festive season, and needless to say, I'm a ridiculous dog mom. My point in sharing this with you guys is if you hear a dog, if you hear jingles, sounds so ridiculous, but if you hear outside noise, I'm trying to keep it down as much as I can, but keep in mind, this is real life, this is my home, and there are other living things inside of it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick and get it out of the way. But back to Gratitude Level Up. Thank you so much for being here. Gratitude Level Up is something that I have been working on for months now, and am so excited to finally be in a place where I can share it with you guys and experience it with you. And I'm so excited to see what impact it has on your life and those around you. So that is why I've been a little MIA, but thank you for your patience. Thank you for being consistent and being an active member and engaged member of our community. It is so appreciated, and I hope the next 6 weeks were well worth the wait and do not disappoint. So what is Gratitude Level Up? My goal with Gratitude Level Up, which is a 6-week video series where I break down 6 really huge facets of gratitude. And I give you very real tools, very real tips and things that you can do, actionable things that you can do to reap the rewards of physical, powerful, intentional gratitude in your life. If you are just joining us or you hop on week 3 or week 4, that's totally cool. All of this stuff will be available. It'll be backdated so you can retroactively go back and look at it. The series, the videos will go in order. So each week we will talk about something pertaining to the previous week. So if you are just jumping in and you're jumping in maybe when week 3 is released, I would encourage you to kind of start over. Just go back to week 1 and start there, right? And these videos will not be super long. This isn't like a documentary, but we will be covering quite a bit of content, and I will also be releasing throughout the series tools that you guys can use. One week we will have like free gratitude cards. If you're an active member in the series and you want some free stuff, you get it, right? We will be releasing like gratitude tracker templates, which is really exciting. And if you're engaged with us on social media, we will also be doing a lot of cool stuff on like our stories, getting you guys even more engaged and kind of entrenched in this Gratitude Level Up program. We will also be, I'm super excited about this, there will be other opportunities for you guys to just get some cool merchant. I don't want to call it merchandise because that sounds, oh yeah, like free stuff. But yeah, free stuff. But not like a free cruise. More like I'm going to give you free gratitude stuff, right? Like I want you to use what we're talking about and what you're going to learn in your real life. And that involves your job. So there will be some stuff that you can take to work. There will be some stuff that you can use at home. There will be some stuff that you can use personally during your self-reflection for gratitude. A whole bunch of stuff. So I'm super, 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 super excited that you're here, and I can't wait to get started. So let's jump right on in. This is week 1. Okay, so welcome to Gratitude Level Up week 1. This video we are going to talk about physical gratitude. Like, what is it? Like, that is the number one question I get whenever I am talking to somebody about Grateful & Company is, what in the world, Caroline, do you mean by physical gratitude? Isn't gratitude just gratitude? Like saying thank you, right? Like, isn't that the extent of gratitude, and I'm always overwhelmed by the passion I feel when I want to respond and say, no, 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 no. Gratitude is and should be a physical activity. Gratitude historically has been something that's up here, right? We think about it, we kind of meditate on it, and we just like resonate with it, but we don't get out of our head about it. And that's where the real power of gratitude is. It's when we're active, intentional, and physical about it. So what is physical gratitude? So let's talk about the definition, right? Like, let's just start there. To be grateful. What does that mean? To be grateful. Appreciative of benefits received, expressing gratitude. Okay, well, it is the art of expressing gratitude. I want you to hone in on for a second on that word, expressing. That's a verb. That's an action. That's something we're doing. To be grateful is to express gratitude, right? To do something about it. So the definition of gratitude is the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. To show and to return. Those are things you do, right? Those are things that require movement. They require facilitation. They require action and for us to do. It's physical. It's out of our head. It's something that we are actively engaging with. That's what physical gratitude is. Gratitude is intentional. It's actionable. So in order to experience the power of gratitude, we have to act. We have to act to receive the power of gratitude. So I've got two questions for you guys. The first is, and I want you to really think about it. And next week when we reconvene, we'll talk about your answers. But I want you to think about this. When we're speaking in terms of being physically grateful, what outcome am I looking for post-gratitude? What am I looking to achieve? Why am I grateful? In what way do I want my appreciation for something, someone, myself, a place, whatever? What do I want out of that? So what outcome am I looking for post-gratitude? And the second reason, or second question, that I want you to think about is, why am I grateful? Why? Why am I grateful? So two things. The first, what outcome am I looking for post-gratitude? And the second, why am I grateful? Okay? So let's talk about actionable gratitude. And let's specifically talk about, how does actionable gratitude, physical, real, intentional gratitude you can engage with, how does that affect me? Let's talk about it. So physical gratitude's effect on us. Well, it's interesting because when we choose to be intentional about gratitude and get out of our head about it, and in the weeks to come, just so you know, we're going to be talking about how we can be very physical and intentional with our gratitude in different parts of our life. But right now, speaking in terms of how it affects us, I did a whole bunch of research, and I'm going to share it with you guys because I know that hard facts sometimes resonate and they go pretty far. So I'm going to share with you what some of my research has revealed, okay? So there was a study done in 2012, actually, in personality and individual differences. So that's kind of your scope. And what they learned was that physical gratitude, the effect of physical gratitude on the self, physical relief, fewer aches and pains. So that's pretty cool. So there's a tangible right? Physical reaction post physical gratitude, which I think is pretty cool. There were some other studies that were done as well that proved that physical gratitude affects our psychological health. It increases happiness and, ironically, but not at all, reduces depression levels. This was discovered through multiple studies conducted by one of the most known gratitude scientists, if you will. He spent the better part of his life understanding or trying to understand how gratitude and physical appreciation affects us. And his name was Robert Emmons. He's a gratitude researcher, and I love his work, and he's wonderful, and that was one of his discoveries. And other studies done, one by the University of Kentucky in 2012, revealed that physical gratitude on the self enhances empathy and reduces aggression, right? The desire to seek revenge, which is good. Envy and aggression isn't a phenomenal thing. So physical gratitude enhances empathy and reduces aggression. In 2011, there was a study published in Applied Psychology, Health and Well-Being. And this study showed that physical gratitude for the self creates better sleep, which is awesome. Do we ever get enough of good sleep? I would argue not. I do not. Writing in a gratitude journal actually also improves sleep. So that's interesting. There was another study done in 2014. It was published in the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology. This study showed that physical gratitude increased the athlete's self-esteem, which is pretty cool. So physical gratitude improves self-esteem and reduces social comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, right? What good ever comes of you and I comparing ourselves to, kind of everybody else? Nothing really good ever comes out of that. Am I right? So gratitude not only improves self-esteem, but it reduces this need to socially compare ourselves. Another study done in 2006, published in Behavior Research and Therapy. This was actually really interesting. This study was conducted with Vietnam War veterans, which I just think is the coolest thing ever. Basically, what the study found was that physical gratitude increases mental strength, which is a huge help in overcoming trauma, right? In that season of recovery and healing, physical gratitude really affects how we overcome it. It improves our mental strength, which is very powerful. Specifically, the study found that the Vietnam War veterans with higher levels of gratitude experienced lower rates of PTSD. So in 2003, there was a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology that found that gratitude was actually a major contributor to resilience following the terrorist attacks on 9/11. Isn't that crazy? Physical gratitude can seriously impact how we overcome really hard and traumatic experiences. It is really, really powerful. And these are all findings that have been backed up by research and theory and testing and proving and all that good stuff. So I just thought that was really, really, really interesting. Especially, the Vietnam War veterans, right? Those that experienced higher levels of intentional, real, acting on gratitude had a better experience with kind of overcoming, this trauma that they were healing from and had experienced. It's really, really, really powerful. So gratitude clearly affects us in a very personal way. So let's talk a little bit more about that study with the veterans. So basically what happened and how this was tested was that the veterans were asked to be very intentional about gratitude. They were asked to, for lack of a better term, get out of their head about gratitude for 2 weeks. So that was how long the study was. It was for 2 weeks. And at the end of every day, they were supposed to kind of recant what they were grateful for and act on it. That's how they did that study. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, the group that didn't do that, in comparison to the group that did, that got out of their head about gratitude, all of who had gone through the same experience, all of who were dealing with, the same trauma, and were all in this season of healing and kind of overcoming. They had all gone through that same thing. And so that's where that research came from. Point is, physical gratitude has an emotional, a physical, a mental, a very personal effect on us. And there is a ton of research to back that up. But there's also what you and I know internally, right? When you and I tell people thank you, and when we go out of our way to share with others, hey, I see you, I appreciate you, I just want you to know that I acknowledge you and I want to say thanks. When we go out of our way to do stuff like that, we know we feel better, right? Like, we know we feel better because we're getting out of our head about it. The effect of gratitude on those around us is also huge. So there's this very real, personal kind of gratification that takes place whenever we know we're getting out of our head about gratitude and we're sharing that we appreciate others with them. Something special happens there. But something special also happens for those that we're sharing it with, right? The effect of gratitude on those around me, whenever I choose to share that I appreciate somebody with that somebody, is huge. It's huge. Why? Because that person now knows that they've brought value to you. That person is now personally touched by the fact that you recognize them as a key component of your story, right? You've essentially called out this human and said, hey, FYI, you contributed to my happiness, my positivity, my growth, my development, something that I consider very important to me. You have contributed to that in a positive way, and I just want to say thanks. Y'all, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. As the receiver of physical gratitude, I now know that I am a significant part of your story. Have you ever thought of it like that? Have you ever considered that the power of you sharing what you appreciate goes beyond what it does for ourselves? There are so many people, y'all, that walk around us, around our workplaces, in our homes, on the streets, in the mall when we go shopping, in restaurants, everywhere. There are people that just walk around and they have no idea. They have no idea how valuable they are. They have no idea how much they actually contribute. Imagine how different their mindsets, their lives, their futures would look if you and I told them that we appreciated them. Maybe you had an awesome dinner. Maybe you went out to dinner with your family. My sweet, sweet husband and I love El Tiempo. It is a Mexican food restaurant here local to us, and we go there all the time, and we always have the absolute most amazing experience with the staff. What if on the next time that we go out to eat, instead of just saying, hey, thanks for dinner, it was great, it's like, I really appreciated your commitment to serving my husband and I. It doesn't go unnoticed. And you were ridiculously accommodating. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure coming here. Imagine if that's how we spoke to people, right? Imagine if next time you go through the drive-thru line to go get your large Diet Coke extra ice, because I don't get one of those like 6 times a day or anything. But imagine if the next time I did, when I'm receiving my drink from the drive-thru window, I looked at the cashier or whoever, the attendant, whoever was helping me out, I said, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is like my fix for the day. And you were so quick and so fast and so responsive. Thank you. I really appreciate you doing this. This is something small, but I know it's important. When I was getting a Starbucks, I was in the Starbucks line. And the wonderful, I think all the baristas are wonderful because they have the key to this sweet, sweet, sweet nectar known as coffee. She handed me my coffee and she said something really nice. And she totally didn't have to. And it was totally out of the blue. And it was so kind of her. I was like, you know what? I really appreciate you. Thank you. I was having a really rough day and you had no business of telling me that nice thing, but you did. And you don't know how much that's impacted the trajectory of my day today. Thank you. Because here's the truth, y'all. You don't know. Right? It could have been the other way around. I could have been the one delivering maybe a compliment or something sweet to this person. You don't know, right? Like, we have truly no idea what the people around us are going through all the time. But when we choose to get out of our head, when we choose to act on gratitude and we act on appreciation, it impacts people in such a profound way. Appreciation goes so far. So let's wrap up week 1 with this. What is to come? So today we talked about how does gratitude affect me personally, and very briefly we touched on how does gratitude affect those around me. In the weeks to come, we will talk more on how it affects those around us. Professionally, in the workplace, we're going to talk about more of a deeper dive into how we're internally affected by gratitude. And then we're going to close up with kind of gratitude and mental health and how it affects our mental well-being, because there is a very, very, very real connection between gratitude and the state of our mental health. So next week we'll talk about gratitude in a professional environment. Week 3 we will talk about gratitude within our homes. Week 4 we will talk more about gratitude internally and of the self. And week 5, or really this will be week 6, right? Because week 5. And then we're going to do a wrap-up week 6 where we talk about it all and very real things that you can take from Grateful & Company and use and receive from Grateful & Company for free. That'll kind of be what week 6 is all about. But week 5, we're going to talk about gratitude and mental health. And then week 6, we'll do a recap where we'll bring it all home and kind of talk about the so what factor, the why does it matter factor, okay? So closing questions, and then let's talk about these next week when we reconvene. Let's also talk about them this week. Engage with me on social media, engage with Grateful & Company, keep up with our stories this week because we will kind of be providing a platform for you guys to get very real with these answers and to share them with us and to make this level up community real and tangible throughout this series. So here are my closing questions for y'all. 1, am I being intentional with being grateful? I don't know if you've ever considered it before, but after today's conversation, I hope you do. So that's my first question for you. Right now, in the current state of my life, am I being intentional with being grateful? Number 2, what outcome am I looking for post-gratitude? What are my intentions? That's a fair question. And number 3, why am I grateful? Why do I appreciate someone or this thing or myself? Why am I grateful? What is my why? I want you guys to think about these questions this week and then share your answers with me on social media. Like I said, we will have lots of different ways for you guys to engage with kind of the follow-up this week. We're so excited to continue next week with video number 2. Stay tuned. And I hope you guys have a fabulous week. Thank you always from the bottom of my heart for being here, for being an engaged member of the Grateful & Company community. I'm so excited to see the impact that this series has on people. And please don't wait until next week to engage again because we will have stuff going on all week online line to continue this conversation of, am I really being physically grateful? Thank you guys. Stay tuned for more.